January 25th, 2013. Talked last night about a couple of dogs we had, Alaskan Malamute and a Siberian Husky. We had another Alaskan Malamute, part wolf, part Malamute. In Wilmer, got, and his name was King. Got him when he was just a little puppy. So when I was finishing my high school studies, because I kind of crammed, I dropped out in 10th, 11th, 12th grade, and was kind of spent the year and was going to with my high school graduation, graduate, and so I only had like part of 11th and all of 12th kind of major, the English and history and some of the major ones I had to finish up, so it wasn't too bad. But spent all winter just studying, and Gordon had an optical and hearing business, and he knew one of the people that came in and one day said, I think it was a kind of a fire rescue guy, found the puppy. Evidently the mother was abandoned and it was kind of a bloody mess, and out of all the pups, he was the only one that survived. So we definitely took him in, and actually he was just a little ball of fur, and grew up. I spent all day with him because I was there all day, so we got a real attachment. You have a pet from a little bitty, they kind of grow and get really attached to you. And when we moved and traveled, when we left Wilmer, we went on a 10,000-mile road trip. Went down to Florida and then up through Washington, D.C., seen the sights, went up to New York, went through the trade towers and they were still standing. Back down to Florida because there was a couple of job offers we were checking out. Didn't pan out, so then we headed across country, all the way across the south there to California. Spent some time there. Wasn't our cup of tea or our bag, didn't work out. And then headed up and ended up in Seattle, of all places, and then was there in Washington State for a couple of years. But he traveled with us all the way. We just had a little Volkswagen bus, engine that I'd rebuilt myself with my own hands, and that was kind of an accomplishment to be able to put an engine together and then travel 10,000 miles around the country in it. But it was quite a road trip, and he was with us all the way. It was nice to travel because we always felt secure with him. He was very protective of both of us. In Washington, I would always travel with us, go up into the hills, and cut wood and bring it down, split it up and go down and sell it. He was always with. When I traveled out in the woods, up in the hills, and did mushrooming in the October, November season when it was really a high picking season, I never felt afraid or alone because he was always there with. We came back to Minnesota to visit like a year and a half after he was there, and left him there. And he had a beef with the dogs across the road. We lived in a busy. There's a big lumber. They call it lumber. I don't say lumber trucks, but logging trucks that go up and down the road because we lived pretty far out. We moved out of Seattle. We moved 100 miles between Portland and Seattle, way up in the woods. And he had a beef with the dogs across the road. I don't know why, they just didn't get along. It seemed like neighbors and people just didn't get along. It was constantly barking at one another. But it was strange that they never came on our property. They'd come up into the road and bark at one another, and then they'd drag each other back across. And he wouldn't go over onto their property. It's like, dogs had their own property, sit on each side of the road. But they were constantly, pulling each other out into the roads. just happened to be that I think they just outsmarted him, that they pulled him, and he got so upset that they pulled him out into the road, and he got hit by a logging truck, which was unfortunate, and he's buried in Washington. But I wanted to talk about him, King, because it was a big part of my life for there 2 to 3 years, and I've traveled around and spent a lot of time. I had a couple of dogs after that, but it wasn't until, like I said, Pepper I talked about yesterday, and Mister we had for a short time. But we really liked Malamute breeds. I mean, really good dogs. I'm gonna leave it with that. With the song too. So, January 25th, 2013.